right, we're live right now.
It says we are.
Then we're live. And I am so happy because I get the best smile around. Dani Trejo is joining us again. She's a friend of the show. For those of you who are starting to watch us now on Facebook, Dani's been here a few times and she's here to help us out today. But before we get that started, I don't have a lot of these, Greg, coming up this season, so I have to take advantage when it happens. The Bears won. I said I would have one drink, a victory drink, if the Bears won. They did. I'm proud of you guys. We got a lot of fucking work to do, but I'm proud of you guys. So
I should say all my teams won today. I was very happy.
Yeah.
The Browns won, the Packers won, the Browns won, and the Bears won.
Yeah.
I don't watch sports.
I thought you'd be a big Bear fan.
Yeah, I thought you were a Bears fan.
I like going to Bears games.
Okay. What did you think about the
it's a party. I mean,
exactly.
They just had breaking news, Dani. They're probably gonna build a stadium in Arlington Heights. What do you think of that?
I did read that. I read about that. I think that's a good idea.
I think
more
it's
space
great.
out there.
I think it's fantastic. So
all right.
Sounds very excited.
Yeah.
Heights.
Yeah, I can Uber there now and back. It'll take me like 10 minutes. Fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, all right. We're not here to talk about the Chicago Bears. We are here to actually, Greg.
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, we got to appease the internet gods. So first off, if you're watching our show today, please like and subscribe. If you want to interact with us, go watch that video. Put some stuff in the comments. We will get back to you. And if you would like one free month of audible.com on us for all your audiobook needs, go to audibletrial.com/JATG and you will get one free month on us. Now
us.
I love
you
Audible.
Guys are lucky. You guys are lucky.
We can get Audible is fantastic. I'm such a sucker for Audible
today.
What do you
really? What do you? Yeah, come on, let's get into that.
It's a fantasy series by Sarah J. Maas. It's called Throne of Glass, but this is the sixth book in the series.
Oh, so you're deep in.
Do you like
deep into it? This is the second. So it's a long story. We can get into it later. But this is the second series of hers that I've read.
Are you into fantasy? You like fantasy? Do you like urban fantasy?
I don't know the difference.
Okay, so you say straight up fantasy, that's like more medieval setting. You say urban fantasy,
Lord of the Rings.
So it's like Lord of the Rings versus like a more contemporary setting.
Like contemporary magical fantasy.
Yes, I have.
It's not in present. Like it's not present.
Okay.
Like is Shadow and Bone? Is that urban fantasy? Shadow and Bone?
It's more Shadow and Bone than.
Okay, I would call that
but
fantasy.
It's like adult.
Okay. Oh yeah, sure, totally.
More so than Shadow and Bone.
I'm a unabashed lover of a series called The Dresden Files. I'm actually trying to get the author on here if he can ever come on. Jim Butcher is his name.
We're close. Yeah,
we're in touch with his people. We email.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. But it's based in Chicago, so you would feel right at home reading that series. And I've done it all on Audible, and the narrator is James Marsters, who was Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Is a fantastic narrator.
Does great. Yeah, he does a great job.
Just nails it. So when you're in a book hole next time, check out Stormfront, which is the first book in the Dresden Files.
And it's a good one. I can concur.
So today is actually we're in the beginning of October. It is October 3rd. The spooky season has launched.
I love it.
If you're a fan of the Halloween time of year, this is your gig. And I've been itching for this particular show for a while, because you always got the people like same thing with people that decorate for Christmas. They jump the gun by like a month. And so there are people that have had Halloween decorations up like since last month, and I'm like, I want to start, but no, we're gonna wait.
Stores don't let you wait. I went to the store last weekend to get some more Halloween stuff, and everything was gone.
Yeah, well,
really,
you know what? I actually talked to a buddy of mine about that who works in retail and has for his entire career. He's like, well, that's dollars and cents. Like you don't decorate for Halloween. Like no one waits until it's actually Halloween. Everybody's planning all that like a month before, so that's why they throw everything out earlier. And like Christmas stuff is going to come out in a couple weeks
Yes.
because
So
everybody
is
buys
shovels.
it. Yeah, like that's true.
Not for Danny. Not for Danny.
But if people didn't buy it, like they wouldn't put it out there. But you can put Christmas
Right.
stuff out at any time of year, and people are going to go nuts. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's spooky season, and because this is the Johnny and the Greg podcast, we had the idea of we're going to break down some of our favorite movies of the horror genre. So
There's a big genre. I had
that's a
no
big
idea.
well, and so really what we did, and I broke it down, and I say me, and that I just found it. So what we're going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at all of these in the horror genre that break down into like action horror, comedy horror, gothic horror, psychological horror. I feel like I'm on a game show. Sci-fi horror, slasher horror, thriller horror, which we'll get the difference between thriller and suspense, zombie horror, and then suspense horror. So
I added a category.
oh, see, you can't do that. Like at
I
the
will. Just
show.
hang on. You'll see why. We should have a werewolf category.
See, I thought about that. I thought about like monster film. Maybe we'll do that as our bonus
that's
category at the
classic,
end.
though.
Yeah,
It is.
thank you.
Films
I know.
are definitely Halloween.
Yelling at me
I-
this early in the podcast. What's
Like
wrong
you
with
can't just like switch up the rules.
I
After
didn't switch. I added, and then you
Okay.
were like, "I was going to do that."
I was actually
Okay,
But
well then
I didn't
don't
say it was a
yell at me
bad
for
idea. I just
something-
say you can't. Don't yell
That's
at
true.
me.
That's true. You didn't.
No fighting in front of Danny. Come
You
on.
did it first.
I get PTSD. Come on.
Greg, if you go to your right, I'll go to my left, and we'll pretend like we're fighting. Other side.
Oh, that on my screen.
Then left,
but
like that. That's
That now it just looks like we're dancing. I don't know what. You know what?
All right.
I should be. That's
yeah, monitoring the chat.
No, yeah, I am. Oh wait, no, I did. It did work out on there. Okay,
good.
good.
All right. So, who wants to go first?
Well, I think we should let our guests go first.
I
So, first up, I believe is action. Is that what you guys? When I gave up
Sure.
that list, that was the first one that was listed. So,
Hey, Danny, real quick.
Mhm.
Are you a fan of Halloween? I'm assuming.
Yes, big fan of Halloween. I was a scaredy cat for a very long time, so I stayed with more like comedy horror and like
Okay.
like PG-13, but like Casper,
Yeah.
you know, the Goonies, like action adventure in a way. For
Okay.
a long time.
mhm.
I wouldn't say straight up horror. you
Okay.
know? But I
Have
feel like
you watched since you've? I don't think I can sense. I don't think you've gotten out of your scaredy cat phase. Will you still? Do you still watch? Like, have you watched like some classic stuff or?
I watched
The
it too
Shining?
long- No, I've never seen The Shining. I've never seen like I saw bits and pieces of Friday the 13th recently.
Will you walk into a film that you know is meant to scare you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
feel like now I'm finally comfortable enough where it's like, okay. this
Well,
is
you're
fine.
young, so you got
Except
time. You can.
Well, you,
for
you can squat clean a lot,
ghosts.
so that's why you know.
ghosts are a little scary to me.
Ghosts?
Like the ghost and like spirit of it all, that's a little harder
I
for me.
okay.
to
I agree with
digest.
that. Yeah, I don't do a
Because,
lot of horror that delves into like spiritual warfare. I don't do a lot.
Yeah,
of that.
possessions you're talking about,
Like,
right?
The
Yeah.
Conjuring,
Yeah, we'll not do
like,
possessions.
won't do it. However, I did just watch. Sorry, I'm gonna just a little side note.
Yeah.
Midnight Mass. I just watched it on Netflix.
I've
Oh, is
heard
that any
about
good?
this.
It's phenomenal.
Yes?
It's on my list. I
Myers
haven't.
is in it,
Okay.
And
All right.
my
Oh.
boss
We'll
was
watch
like,
it.
"You just have to watch it. She does such a great job." I was like, "Okay, fine," but I'm gonna be scared. And then I ended up watching the entire thing, and I was obsessed.
Yeah?
I can't
Okay,
stop
so,
thinking about it.
Big thumbs up or a Danny.
So
Danny
for our,
approval.
Danny Wreck.
yeah, for our people, they should know Danny works in the entertainment industry.
Yes, yes.
She is a rep of talent. Oh, okay. We're saying agent. Now. I never get it right.
She's
but
our
she's a
future talent agent when we finally
She
hit
is
it
an
big.
agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you
that's
agree,
cool.
Greg? Wouldn't you agree? If we ever hit it big, she's our talent agent.
If we can afford her. Yeah.
Yeah, we're the one that.
You don't pay your agent until you book something.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You
well,
get
in
a
that case,
cut.
yeah, you're totally my agent.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so
All right.
let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go
All right,
into this,
let's
and we'll
do.
see if I have anything to say.
All right. Action is up. What do you got for your first one?
For action horror, I mean, I just made a list of a bunch of horror movies. So honestly, you guys go, and then I will jump in if I've got any.
Okay.
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 Sounds good.
So John, what'd you have on your first one?
Okay, my first movie was it's pretty much the first, and I can't remember which one actually came first, but I have two of them that are like my first one's Aliens. Aliens, where they go
Aliens,
back to the
yeah.
planet with the Marines and they take out like all the xenomorphs.
Yep.
That was fantastic to me as a kid. I was so into it. I actually was freaking like so worried for Ripley when that elevator opened up at the end and it's quiet and all you hear is the sirens going, you know, and she's going to go get the little girl.
Great environment on that.
Yes.
Piece.
Oh man, I loved it. That was my first one.
See, and I, even as I was thinking through this, and I knew John was going to come up, like there's going to be a lot of crossover. So I tried to look for stuff that I didn't think everybody would think of. For number one for me was Blade.
Really?
The original Blade, Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Considered horror?
It is. It
that's
actually
why
is
I
considered.
it is considered horror, but that's why I didn't put it down. I thought that's Marvel. But
yeah,
you're right.
But it was Marvel before Marvel was Marvel. I mean, it was almost
before
like
Disney bought them.
Well, and even before that, it was almost like their test market piece because it's a Dimension film, and it was David Goyer, I think, did it, and he's like, we're gonna try to do this vampire hunter film, and it's got all the horror elements, other than their budget ran out at the end, and the big CGI ending they were gonna have didn't happen. I think it's a pretty good action film.
I think it's a great film.
So yeah.
What about you, Danny? Action. Think of anything. Think of anything where a guy's kicking the bad guy's ass.
Yeah.
I mean, so I just saw this movie with Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton.
Yes.
It's called Freaky.
Okay, yeah, we've talked about it.
And I'd say that's kind of action.
It's got some action elements.
There's some action elements.
It's later on in my list, but yeah, it fits.
Yeah.
Really? It made it to your list?
It did, yeah.
I was doing like an all-time list.
slasher.
Is this not? Did I not do that right? I was kind of doing like my all-time list.
I think that's fine.
Okay,
I think that's fine. I picked out movies that I liked that I didn't think anybody else was gonna.
I see. Okay.
I like Freaky for a couple of different reasons, but it was a COVID film that came out, and I think everybody, Vince Vaughn in that is absolutely hilarious. Yeah,
I gotta watch this. This because I didn't watched it.
It's pretty gory.
Yeah. Is it?
Oh yeah, it's got some.
Well, I think I saw some girl with a. I'll just say. So I don't ruin it for anybody out there who hasn't seen it like me. I saw a part where there's like not home ec, but where they make wood stuff. Shop class.
Yeah.
I saw death in the shop class, and I was like, "Oh wow, really?"
Yeah. So as scary as that can get, like that's what happens.
And there was some high stress parts in there, that's for sure.
Okay.
It was basically Hot Chick, but like slasher.
What's Hot Chick?
How I can oh my god, Rob,
John, it's me, Jessica.
Yeah. It's Rachel McAdams and Rob Schneider change bodies because they like switch some earrings, like magical earrings. And Freaky, the girl gets stabbed by a magical knife.
Right. I thought it was based off of Freaky Friday.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
The classic Freaky
also,
Friday, which also Hot Chick is. Yeah, it's all body switching.
I can't remember if I've seen Hot Chick or not.
Oh, it's so funny.
I bet you have. That was a total 90s film.
It's got Anna Faris in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if I saw it or not. But anyway. Greg, did you have action?
I did at least 5 in each category.
Okay, I did 3 because I didn't know how many people we were going to have, and so I didn't want to take up everybody's time. I wanted them to speak, not me.
I didn't care. I just listed movies.
Yeah, none of mine really fit in the action category.
Okay.
No? Okay. Another one I have, Greg, is Predator.
Yeah.
That was a classic 80s movie that to me, I also put down movies where if they're on again, I will watch them. If I'm folding laundry, if I'm cleaning the house, I will stop what I'm doing for a moment and watch it, and go, oh, I like this part. If it bleeds, we can kill it. All that shit. What do you got?
Dusk Till Dawn, or From Dusk Till Dawn.
That's my third one. Yeah, that was it. I loved it. There's one.
That is a good one.
Has George Clooney stopped doing this thing where he could be like he'd do this head thing where it's like he's
Oh,
Like
he's kind of
trying
nodding.
to stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to stretch
Like
his
he's
thing.
nodding.
You know, he's like this with a gun, and you know he stopped that, right? Like
I think so.
he did that very
I haven't
early.
seen him
If you
do
pick,
it.
have you ever seen Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah.
Okay. Once a guy gets over Selma Hayek in that movie, he starts paying attention, and
she is really hot in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
yes,
Yeah, I can't.
I would love to be on that set and see how many guys are like, I gotta go. Like,
there was a Twitter tweet that somebody put out there. It's like list your favorite vampires, and I'm going through there, and it had like 300 responses. I'm like nobody yet. So
nobody said Selma.
Yeah. I posted Selma Hayek. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, but Danny, watch how George Clooney moves his head in that movie. It's weird. I don't know if that was part of his character, but he tended to do that in ER too.
He did that for like early. I mean, he did it in Ocean's 11 too.
Did he? Okay, maybe that's just. Clooney.
It's less exaggerated, but it's a very Clooney thing to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if he did that. Did that? I don't know if he does that when he's working for the UN or not, but maybe. Next up on my list, I have Dracula Untold.
That was supposed to be the beginning of the Dark Universe.
The Dark Universe, yeah. Yes. The Universal.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about that, Danny? What happened to that? Why it just went? Because every movie, I thought I liked Dracula Untold. I liked The Mummy with Tom Cruise. I liked them. I enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody hated them.
I don't remember why. It was before I was like super into film in that way. Like, like kind of got in. Yeah. Again, because at that age when The Mummy came out, like I was not the demo, you know?
Okay.
Well, and I think with the Dark Universe, it was one of those things where they were trying to toe the line between action and horror. And so like the horror, it wasn't doing enough for the horror fans and it wasn't doing enough for the action fans. And so it just kind of fell in between. Some of those pieces, but I watched
Dracula right into Johnny's lap because he enjoys it. He still enjoys it. I always love watching it.
I watched Dracula Untold. I've
honestly never even heard of it.
It's what's the actor's name?
Luke.
Is it Luke Goss?
No,
Luke.
Luke is either his last name or his first name.
Luke Evans.
Thank you. Yes,
there you go.
Luke Evans.
He's in 9 Perfect Strangers.
Yes.
Look, I don't mind saying he's a gorgeous man.
He was my first pick for Doctor Strange. I wanted him to be Doctor Strange.
He wouldn't have been bad.
I thought he would have been phenomenal.
Oh, okay. I remember this now.
Yeah.
Oh, you looked it up?
Not my thing.
You looked it up?
Yes. I would go back and watch it now.
Okay.
It's very much a romantic take on Dracula, but
yeah.
I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, with a guy that looks like that, of course it is.
Yeah. And he looks like that through the whole film. So
yeah, he looks like that all the time too. Even when he I'm sorry, guys. Look, he's a gorgeous man. So even when he has that makeup on, I'm like,
when he did Beauty and the Beast and came out
say.
as Gaston, I'm like, the motherfucker can sing too.
Yeah.
God, save some talent for the rest of us.
I know.
Come on.
Prick.
The Brits don't know how. They don't know how to save it.
No, they just take it all.
No. My wife, this is way off the track. My wife saw the movie The Courier lately.
Oh.
And she said to me, the guy that's in The Courier, he is a phenomenal actor. And I was like, that's Doctor Strange, right? And she goes, oh, it is. Has he always been that good? I'm like, yeah. He's like my favorite actor.
Cumberbatch has always been that good.
Is that the one that just came out on Netflix?
No, she saw it on a plane. She spent a week in Vegas for work, and she was on a plane back, and she watched The Courier.
Oh, it's a rough life.
Yeah, tough for her.
I think my friends produced that movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Well, tell your friends my wife loved it. She was like, he needs to be nominated. He was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is their movie.
That's cool. That's cool.
Nice.
All right, Greg.
Next up for action. This one I was kind of fuzzy to put in action, but I did. 30 Days a Night.
Ooh.
Never heard of it.
It's a vampire film.
Danny, set this scene for Danny if she's never heard it.
Okay. The overall crux of it is that
she looked it up right now
in Barrow. I think it is Barrow, Alaska.
Yeah.
Where during one part of the year, when in the dead of winter, it is no sun for 30 days. So a pack
Oh, Greg, we're losing you. Yep, I think we lost you.
I can guess that
Yeah.
in those 30 days, the vampires come and wreak havoc on.
Yes, for 30 days they are just tearing through that town, and it's about the town people trying to survive it and make it through the 30 days.
Man, Josh Hartnett just couldn't escape the days, the numbered days for him.
Yeah. Oh, there he is. Hi, Greg. Hang on, I gotta undo I gotta unmute you here.
I can unmute me.
There you
It's
go.
Mercury retrograde. Like, it's not your fault.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? I'm explaining this to you, and I see John having his I'm explaining something face, which is this. So I think nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but
how much of that did you get?
To what it is. They come in. And
That's very gory.
Okay.
That's very
that
there's a moment I think at the end where he has to take care of his friend, and that is horrendous.
It's not the 2 puncture wounds kind of vampire. It's the rip the meat,
the jugular out.
Oh, and it's
like rip the muscle off your arm, so it's just a bone there.
It's so funny because that doesn't bother me because it's so separated from reality.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I'm never gonna see that happen in real life.
Right.
But there's a chance I'll see a ghost.
I believe in ghosts. Greg does not. So,
but you know what? And I'll tell you this later. But my mom told me another ghost story today, and I'm just like, okay.
See, that's why.
Yep.
The only ghost thing I'll watch is Casper.
Okay. I used to love that cartoon when I was a
friendly
kid.
Ghost.
Yeah,
he was.
And Devin Sawa was my first crush.
Who was?
Wow.
Devin Sawa.
He was the voice of Casper in the films.
He was like the kid version of Casper.
Oh, was he?
When he comes back, when they bring him back as a human.
Oh.
And then I saw Wild America. Game over. I was in love.
Wow. Okay. I have no idea who you're talking about, but okay.
If you saw him, you would know who
I would know him. Okay.
Wild America. Yep. All right.
Not bad.
What was your action one there, or did we do?
You took him.
Okay. Well, I got one more, and that's Underworld. I put that.
Yes, Underworld. That was a very creative way with it's funny because that was like on a silver platter for anybody to take at any time in movie history, and somebody finally did it, and you're like, oh, that's amazing. Well, yeah, like that's a classic.
Not like since Dracula versus the Wolfman was anybody doing that. And the only thing, I'm sorry to Tris Rex out there because I know he loves the design. I wasn't real crazy about the werewolf design.
I hated the werewolves. Yeah. So if Tris Rex, Danny, that's a guy that does cosplay. He was on here. Very cool guy. But he loved that design. I did not.
I don't think it's a bad design. It's just not like my preferred werewolf design.
Very polarizing. It's surprising.
I watched it would only be considered a B movie, but it's got a ton of people in it last night called Wolf. I think it was just called Wolf or Wolfen on Amazon. But it's got the guy who plays MacGyver. He's the new MacGyver.
I know what you're talking about. It had I know exactly what you're talking about. I watched
Jason
Montana.
Yes.
Yes. Jason Momoa is in it.
Jason Momoa is in it. And I mean, it's just like a ton of people.
Yeah.
And the werewolf design, I mean, very man in suit style. But the and mostly it was CGI with a little bit of practical effects, and it was great. I mean,
it worked.
Really
I loved it. Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
All right. So are we on the comedy now?
Yes, and I did.
All right, this is where Danny, I think, is going to excel.
I had a lot of these too.
All right, go, Danny.
I mean, I guess it's considered a comedy. You have to go with Hocus Pocus.
Oh,
more of like
yes, of course.
It's a comedy. I don't know how much it dips into the horror aspect, but
I was terrified of it as a kid. Are you kidding me? When the guy's lips are sewed up, no, I could not watch the movie until I was a full-grown adult. When he comes out and he's like and he's chasing after them, and then like they like slit the sewn like stuff.
They cut
off
the rope.
He yells at him.
Like the dust comes out. That was terrifying. And his head falls off. Come on. Come on.
Whoa.
I was terrified.
Wow. Okay.
But-
Well, hear me out. I've never seen that movie.
You would love it.
I actually thought of watching it with Gwen, but after what you just explained, I don't think she needs
It's a
to
little
see it.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
can be
Well,
a
it's on the
little
Disney Channel, so I
Well,
didn't think it was
it
a
is
problem.
a little bit, but honestly, I didn't think it was as spooky as like Mr. Boogedy when I was a kid, because that's good.
Mr.
I've never
Boogedy.
seen it.
Yep.
Doug Jones played Billy Butcherson in that film, and Doug
And
Jones
which
is
is
amazing.
which is
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like this tall, gangly kind of actor. He does a lot of stuff with Guillermo del Toro.
Yes.
He's in
and just
everything Guillermo del Toro.
Yep.
does amazing body work. Like,
Yeah.
There's a tall creature, he's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's most likely it.
And I
Yeah.
think
He's also
he's
in Star Trek.
oh, he's amazing in that show.
Yeah, he's in a lot. That guy works. All
Yeah,
the
he's
Yeah.
in Discovery.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look through here. Hotel Transylvania. That's good. Don't laugh. It's Halloween.
It's a Halloween
All of
movie.
your
Yes,
spooky- it's got all
it
your
is a
spooky
You are
Halloween
absolutely
movie.
right. It's Halloween. You're absolutely right. I
Yeah.
just didn't know we were in the PG version of this.
Yeah,
or the
none of
G
it-
version of
These
this.
I don't
are-
think
these are
any
the
of
type
mine-
of horror movies that I watch. Okay, we got to appeal to everybody.
No
All
wonder you
right,
get
guys.
freaked out when you see a real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horror comedy's light though. I mean, there's some
It
stuff
is.
in
It's
there that
supposed
you
to
can
be.
watch.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to
I
be.
just list off some. What are some other ones? I'll
Well-
tell you whether or not I've seen them.
Oh gosh.
The first one I put down because I just think it's a classic is Monster Squad.
Never seen
This
it.
one.
I love. You've never
Oh.
heard of Monster Squad? Now that's something you
She's-
actually probably wouldn't have had an issue with.
Yeah,
It's
you'd
like-
be okay with it, but you're
It's like
but
Goonies
think
meets
I-
the Universal Monsters.
I
But she's
think
like
I
20
can
years younger than
picture-
us.
I can picture
Oh,
like
yeah.
the VHS at Blockbuster.
yes, I mean that's very much. I mean,
Yes.
you would be a little young to see that when it came out.
It's got like a green monster on it.
It's
Yeah,
got
the
Dracula in the
creature of the
background
the-
and the kids.
The
in
Black Lagoon
front.
creature.
Yeah,
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
but it takes like the tropes of the Universal monsters, Dracula, Wolfman, Creature from Black Lagoon, like Frankenstein, throws them into one film.
Okay.
It's Goonies meets Universal monsters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the only thing was like when I was like, oh, I want to show my kids this when I watched it, and I think it came out in like 86 or 87.
Remember that.
Uh,
Remember that. 86.
Yeah.
Different world in 86.
They said different things in movies then.
Yeah.
Um,
I see what you're saying.
So like these kids are coming out of their classroom and a teacher they hate, and they're like, he's a total fit, and they're using the bad
F
word
word.
for yes. And
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't remember that. And
Right.
so then I was like, okay, kids, yeah, we're gonna watch something else now.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was yours,
that
Greg?
was- number one on my list is one that I've discovered, and I'd say even the past year. It's the Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
That's a very good one.
Love that.
That's a
movie.
very
That
good one.
is a fantastic
That
Yes.
zombie
cast
movie.
is-
Very good one.
It's so. Good.
Oh, they work so well. Yeah,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Very good one. Yes.
They were so funny. Every beat of that movie is so good.
Yeah.
So my story with that one is I watched it like I don't know, it was on Netflix or something. So I watched it uncut, uncensored. Fine, no problem. I'm an adult. But then I was watching it with my my kids walked in one show and I was watching it, and I was watching it on like the FX app. And I'm like, well, FX is like that's edited for TV. It'll be fine. Except on the app, it was not. And so they came in right when the woman is like the zombie woman's on the fence and her boobs pop out. And the one kid's like, I got it, man. I got it. And he kind of goes in for a and my high school daughter's like, Dad, what are you? I'm like, I thought that would be edited out. But I love the
I didn't
ending.
make this movie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right.
The zombie old lady cracks me up. When the scouts do their scout thing and they're in the hardware store, just like piecing together zombie killing weapons.
Mhm.
The bigger kid, when he makes the thing with like, was it cue balls or like, it was either cue balls or croquet balls.
I think
And
croquet.
like the
that.
gas powered,
Yeah.
and he blows up the zombie's head. He's like, what the fuck? I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great.
It is a good
So
show. It's a
good,
good one.
so
It's a really
creative.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you have
Well,
for
you-
comedy, John?
I have after Monster Squad, I have Zombie Land
Yeah.
Zombieland
Yep.
because I love the
is on my
two. I
list.
love the rules. You know, the double tap and
Yep.
got to have
So
cardio and
Another
Yeah, which is
great
why I'm going to
cast.
die in the apocalypse.
it was a
'cause-
great cast. It was a great cast.
Oh yeah, perfectly.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then in that vein, Shaun of the Dead.
Yep.
That's my number two. Number
That's a
two,
good
Shaun
one.
of the Dead. Love it.
Yeah.
Scary movie.
That I
Oh.
made
Is
it.
that its own subgenre of
I-
subgenres?
That
it
might
could have
be.
been. It
That
really
might
the
be.
self-aware horror film. Yeah, we could have
Uh-huh.
put that in there.
Yeah.
That made it into one of my
I
other
guess
categories.
it's parody, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a
But no,
slasher film.
No,
It's
the
a
first one
straight up
was
slasher.
hilarious. The first one was hilarious. The
Mhm.
first ones are always good at those parody.
Yeah,
movies.
the-
and then after that, it's like, oh shit.
When Wes Craven's like, I can make more money, and
Yeah.
then started going nuts with it. You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
No,
got?
I think you're thinking of Scream.
which one did you say?
Scary movie.
Scary
Yeah,
movie.
you
Make
are saying
fun
scary
of
with
movie.
the with the
We
Damon
are.
Wayans, and
Yep.
they put that all together.
Yeah,
with
it is. Anna Faris.
is in it,
Yes,
Yeah.
Anna
Regina
Faris is the
Hall.
yes.
See, and they're yes, they're so sewn together in my mind that
Yeah.
I went with
Exactly.
the actual.
I do
Yeah.
have
Okay.
a Wes Craven film on my list. but
Me
it's
too.
not Scream.
Me too.
Nice.
Me too.
I'll get there. My number 3 is Army of Darkness, which is the third
Yeah,
film of the
I
Evil Dead
can't-
trilogy.
Yeah, I can't. I don't look. I'm one of the very few people that just can't get behind those three films.
Really?
Yeah.
Are
I
they
just-
too independent for you, or what's the?
I have no idea. I never found them like. I guess the thing is, everybody talked them up, and then the minute I actually
Mm.
watched it, I was like,
Yeah.
"What? This is what
Yeah.
everybody's making a big deal out of?"
Well, I mean and I've read Bruce Campbell's books about making those films, and like it's one of the first like absolute buckets of blood kind of films.
Yeah.
But by the time we were old enough to watch them, yeah, we had seen much more terrifying things. Like
Yeah.
it looked fake.
Yeah. It looked
that was
really
part of the
fake.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I get how people would like because Bruce Campbell's like he's awesome. So
Yeah.
I understand how people
Well,
would like
and-
Bruce Campbell, but
And Army of Darkness is much more into the comedy vein than Evil Dead 1 and 2.
yes.
Like
yes.
they really went more comedy with that one. So that's why I
Right.
put that in the
Yeah.
comedy.
I put Cabin in the Woods.
That is also on my list here. Yep, Cabin in the Woods.
And that's a comedy?
I felt it was funny because I was
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, this is like a corporation and they're
Yeah,
taking bets. This
It
is
really, again, it would dip into your self-aware horror
yeah.
category.
I think
feel
anytime
like-
you dip into self-aware, it becomes a comedy.
Okay, sure. So then like Final Girls.
Which I haven't watched yet, but yeah, because that's an 80s film, isn't it? Final Girls,
No,
or was it?
No.
a 2000s with
That's
like
what.
Nina
Okay.
Dobrev and like a bunch of just like other like
CW
of the
stars of the
time.
time. Yeah.
yeah and same idea that they like figure out like, oh, this is like a horror movie.
Yeah.
We're all gonna die. Who's the final girl? Like
Oh,
if I'm
got it.
remembering it correctly,
Okay.
right?
Well,
They, like,
I think
Yes,
so
yes,
because
yes, that
I
was it.
saw it's on one of my streaming services, and I was like, I should watch that. I should check that out. But
It's
I didn't see who
got,
was in it.
let's see, let's pull it up. It's got Nina Dobrev, Alexander Ludwig, Malin Ackerman.
Oh.
She's like the main girl.
Yeah.
And one of the American Horror Story girls, I don't know how to say her last name, Thaisa Farmiga.
Well, she's
Oh,
the girl that kind of
okay.
has this innocent face.
Yeah, she has.
That's the way I would describe her. She has a very innocent face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the big doe eyes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes it's when I see that type of an actress, it's very hard for me to see her as a woman.
Mm.
I see her as
Oh.
a
Very, like,
child. Yeah.
Kid face.
Yeah.
'Cause she's got round features.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I used to.
But
Who was that one girl? She was real popular for like a spell. She was like, she looked like a younger Helen Hunt, but it wasn't Helen Hunt. It was like Liba Zaminsky or something like that. Or
Oh, Lily Sobeski.
yes, her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She was in for a hot minute. She was like the it girl. But
Yeah.
to me, she never felt like a woman to me. Like I always looked at her as like this. God, she looks so much like a
Well, that's what happened
15
with
year old.
the girl from Game of Thrones who played Stark, Arya
Amelia?
Stark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we watched her literally grow up through that show
Yeah.
until the last season when of course she's in her 20s and everybody freaked out when she did a partially nude scene. So
I don't remember that. I don't.
yeah.
So now I'm on like the comedy horror movie page,
Yeah,
and I'm seeing
yeah.
Jennifer's Body is labeled under comedy
Yep.
horrors.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
put that
I'm
in
gonna go ahead. I recently saw that.
What'd you think?
I thought it was really interesting and like a really fun concept.
Yeah. Kate just
Um,
watched that recently, my daughter. She's like, I love that movie. I'm like,
It's
love's a strong word, but
it was ahead of its time.
I would say so. Yeah.
I will give you that. I also think
I
Cabin
love
in the Woods
Diablo
was.
Cody.
Yeah. Well, we were having a conversation about I hate it when we talk about movies and I just forget people's names. The star of that movie,
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. I knew it was
Mhm.
Fox.
Well,
we're talking about
technically it could be Amanda Seyfried, but like Megan Fox.
Well, the
Right.
conversation was about Megan Fox and that
Mhm.
Hollywood really painted a certain picture of her as just a pretty face.
Mhm.
And she's not. I mean, like when you'd watch her in interviews and stuff like that, I'm like, she's got a lot going on upstairs,
She's
and
smart.
she's making good decisions. And
No,
I think I would say
when you marry that guy from 90210, I don't think you're making great decisions.
I'm not talking about her personal life, but I mean, look
Well,
who she's
that's
dating
making
now.
great
So the thing-
decisions.
So that movie that I mentioned, my friends were producers on.
Yeah.
They're doing Night Teeth, which is a horror movie
Oh,
that's coming out on Netflix.
yeah.
I think next week. Or
Yeah, I
in
think I've seen the
coming
trailer
weeks.
for that.
And Megan Fox is in it for like 2
Ah.
minutes, but she's in it.
Night Teeth.
Cool.
Can you plug
It's-
that or no?
Yeah, go watch it.
No, I mean like give me a synopsis.
This kid who's hired as a driver in LA.
Yes, I remember
sneaking
this now.
around these two
Yes.
girls and to like these Hollywood elite parties, and then he gets dragged into it. And it turns
Greg,
out-
think of it as you remember that Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx movie?
Yep.
Yeah, but these two girls he's driving around are vampires.
I'm down.
Yeah, it
And
looks
that's-
good. It looks good.
I'm into that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see who would did you guys watch What We Do in the Shadows, the movie?
I haven't seen the
Oh,
movie. I
not-
love the series.
The
Haven't seen
series,
the movie.
It's fun.
it's more the same. I mean, you can see where they definitely launched the movie because
Yeah.
even in the end of season 1, because we're rewatching it now as a family.
Yeah.
The vampires from the sorry, that cracks me up.
Yeah. I love that vampire.
The vampires that are on the council were the ones in the movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Like Taika Waititi and
Have you seen that, Danny?
I've seen the first few episodes.
The first
and
few
then
episodes?
I
It's
got distracted.
fantastic.
But
Oh,
yes.
it's to me, it's that the office humor. It's
Yeah,
that
it's
type
totally
of
that.
yeah. I crack up every time that girl goes, your name should be Greg or your name is Jeff. It's the Jeff.
Yes.
It's like an orgasm. It's Jeff. I thought it was so hilarious. Yeah, it's a good one. I love Guillermo.
I like the energy vampire.
The energy vampire is so hilarious. He just sits there and talks to you forever about like
He just bores the shit out of you.
bores the
until
shit out of you and sucks all your energy. Danny, you need to watch more episodes.
I'll
They
watch
get
more.
better. They
It's-
get
it's
a lot
October.
better.
Yeah. It's a great show. And I have some friends of mine that are actually cosplaying as Nandor and
awesome.
Nadia.
Awesome.
And I was like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
Colin Robinson. Yeah. Because I think shave me and put a pair of glasses on me and a weak freaky sweater. I'm like, I could be Colin Robinson.
You could totally be him. Oh, hey, Keller Robinson.
Hey guys. All right, so I got that. Have you guys ever seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
I passed on that.
You gotta watch it.
Do
It's
I? Okay.
It's Alan Tudyk just doing great stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
It's these two rednecks that are not, I mean, they're just normal dudes, like trying to go out to their cabin in the woods and like fix things up. And then these teenagers show up. They think that these guys are like, backwoods cannibals kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then these teenagers just start dying around them of like weird happenstance. But from the outside, it kind of looks like they're killing them. And they're like, well, we don't know what's going on. These teenagers just show up and start dying all around us. And it's fantastic. So did you have more in the comedy? All right, you guys got more comedy? I've got a couple more left.
No, I'm good with comedy. But Danny, you got anything?
I don't think that this is a comedy. Like, there's just like these niche like vampire movies that like I saw years ago.
Oh, there's so much crossover.
There's so much.
Yeah, there really is.
But no, I think we covered the major ones.
I see left on my list. I did mention Freaky. I put that in the comedy because it's hilarious to watch. Really Vince Vaughn act like a 16-year-old girl was fantastic.
He acted his ass off. That's for sure.
He must have a daughter, like a teenage daughter, because that's one of those things you're like, you don't just come by that. He studied.
For sure.
He's experienced teenage girls in large groups. I got Freaky. I got Ready or Not. If you guys saw that one.
Oh no, you froze. I don't know if it's me.
Walk me through it.
Ready or Not is a woman.
Did you say Ready or Not? Sorry, you froze.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Ready or Not.
Love that movie.
Yeah. So she marries into this family, or she's going to marry into this family, and it's a very rich family that made their millions.
I remember
games.
This now. They end up blowing up. Yeah.
Yeah. And they end up hunting her throughout the house.
Yes. End of the movie.
Yes. Well,
I was like, what the hell, man?
I don't care. I thought it was the other one, the one where the guy brings his girlfriend to the house, and it happens to be on the night where the brother's trying to kill the whole family, and they're wearing a fox mask, and the other guy has like on another mask.
Is that the Crazies? Is that one?
No. She's that's like We're Coming, or You're Next. You're Next. That's what it's called. You're Next.
Oh, okay.
And she ends up being like a survival specialist that like can take all these people out. It's really cool. Yeah.
I'll have to put that one on the list.
Yeah.
I also had Horns on there. Daniel Radcliffe. Oh,
yeah.
Horns. I think that had some pretty funny parts in it, so I put it under comedy. I thought that was a great film.
Speaking of that guy, that guy's a fantastic actor.
Oh, yeah. He is so good.
He really is. And I really can appreciate how he didn't let Harry Potter like keep him down. Like he didn't get typecasted. He went out there, and I think he played a corpse in a movie. He played
he has so much money that he doesn't care what is next. Like he's like, I'm gonna do projects that I find fun no matter what people think.
Yeah. Right? Okay.
Like, and I think that's why it resonates so much, because you're like, he's just doing whatever he wants, and to him, like, those are the fun projects. And like, not a lot of people have seen a lot of his stuff.
You're right.
And I was telling my kids about that. Like when actors get their contracts right and they can make residuals for the rest of them, like that's why you don't see the Friends cast doing a ton of shit, because they don't have to.
Nope.
Like they can literally just live off the residuals if they want to. Now I think they do it just because they're actors, they love their craft, but they have choice.
Yeah.
And so that was part of what I was telling my kids. But I actually saw, speaking of Daniel Radcliffe being a phenomenal actor, I saw an interview clip with the actor that played Lucius Malfoy. Who I'm trying to look up, Jason Isaacs. And he, in the first film that he was in, where it's the end of the film, they're in Dumbledore's office, and he turns and says something to Harry like, oh, well, so great that you're around to save everybody. Maybe you won't be there next time. And Harry's like, I'll be there every time. Kind of. That's not the exact line, but that's it.
I think I saw this on TikTok.
Yeah, and that's where I probably saw it too. And he was like, his Malfoy was just supposed to turn and exit. He's like, I feel like the vileness of my character. He might like say something to Potter, and the director's like, well, just play around with it, see what happens. Say something. So they did a take where he just ad-libbed it, and Radcliffe just like threw it right back at him with his line that he made up off. And then he's like, that's where it hit me. I'm not staring at like an 11-year-old boy. He's like, this is a full-grown, mature actor that he can bounce stuff and play with it. And he was like, change his whole perspective on the entire cast of the film.
Wow.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what they
So-
say forever, I don't think they say this too much anymore, but like, don't work with kids and don't work with animals. Because it makes your job so much harder. And
But the
I
kids,
think-
some of these kids, you're like, are you kidding me? They're crazy
Yeah.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not
So-
the divas on set.
That's probably why they say like don't work for kids, because they'll make you feel bad about your
You're
acting
like, you're
jobs.
that good at 11.
Yeah.
The last film I had in comedy was Krampus.
Krampus. Okay.
That looked terrifying to me. So I was like,
It-
I'm not watching.
You know what? It can be, I think.
No, I didn't think so.
Well, I didn't think so, but for someone who doesn't do a lot of horror films, like
That's true. That's true.
that is definitely, I would say, more in the horror than comedy.
That's spooky.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, next up is Gothic Horror.
This one I had a very hard time with,
Oh, really?
just because
Is
I'm
that
not a
like
big fan of
witches?
Gothic stuff.
Like, is that more witchy? Like,
It's
what
more
is
like the
Gothic?
setting. Yeah, more like the setting. So, like the first one that I have in there is called The Others.
Okay, I remember that.
And that's a ghost story, but it's almost
Nicole
that's set in
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman in like post World War II,
Yeah.
but it's very, it's very dark and gloomy and
Oh my gosh. Crimson Peak is coming up.
That's yes. That
would
was
fit
that's a Gothic.
perfectly. Yep.
Yes.
I did not like that movie.
You didn't like it?
I got to see it for free. So that movie came out when I first moved to LA, and my roommate and I at the time were unemployed, and we did like everything free that was possible.
Sure.
And we signed up for this mailing list to like go see free movies, like pre-screenings, so
Yes.
that way we could give like our feedback. And we're like, okay. So we ended up going to see Crimson Peak, and we're like, oh, this is going to be so great because it's got some hot actor in it. We're like, we're
Tom
in.
Hiddleston.
Yeah.
It wasn't even Tom, it was the other one. The guy
Oh.
from the motorcycle show.
Oh,
the biker gang show.
yeah.
Oh, Charlie Hernan.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's in it for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
But the end of the we were both like, this is like the actual plot of it, like incest.
Yeah.
Is that what we're
It's
doing?
just like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess that is kind of
It's not a great movie.
Well,
It's
and that's
not.
another one that Kate watched on her own. And she's like, so I watched Crimson Peak. I'm like, oh, the Guillermo del Toro film? I said, yeah. And I had really forgotten most of that. She's like, yeah, Tom Hiddleston's in it, so I wanted to watch it. I'm like, oh, wait, what'd you think? She goes, it
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
John, do you have one?
Yeah. Again, I had a hard time with Gothic, so I actually had to look it up to think, like, because the first thing that always popped in my head was that movie Gothica with Halle Berry and Robert Downey Jr. And I thought, no, that's not Gothic.
It's really
But-
not.
Yeah. So Sleepy Hollow. That's always a fun one.
Oh,
That's on my list. Absolutely. I watch
It's always
that
a
every
fun
year.
one. You know, I love the way that Tim Burton made that, just the atmosphere he had
Yes.
for that. It was just
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep. I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh, and the one I could have put on my list and I didn't think about is The Village. from
Yeah.
M. Night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually like The Village. I didn't have a
love The
problem with it.
Village.
People
Yeah.
freaked out about that. Like, oh, the ending's stupid. No, I was
Nope.
fine with it.
Nope, I was fine with it. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I've got Interview with a Vampire.
Yes, that's Gothic. Yep.
A lot of Gothic stuff in there.
Yeah. I had
Twilight has some Gothic in there.
who does?
Twilight.
You know what?
And like the whenever the Volturi come in.
Yeah,
it's
so
a
isn't that
little
like the
Gothic.
third or
Okay.
fourth film? Something
Yeah.
like that.
I think they kind of pop in the second.
Okay.
Yeah, in the second one, because that's when Edward tries to kill himself, and so he goes to the Volturi.
That's
God, imagine if you would have done that, the movie would have been over. Fantastic.
fantastic. Yeah.
That would've been-
Listen. Do not slander Twilight
You
in this
stop right
house,
now.
okay?
I
It is
forgot.
part of my personality.
I was teaching middle school when those books were big, and I did my due diligence and read them like a good teacher would to keep up with his students. And I was like, oh God, I can't do
It's
it.
rough.
I made it through two, and then I was done.
Yeah.
I was obsessed. I even skipped school once to go to see one of the movies.
To see Twilight.
Well, at least
I
you're
don't
the
think my mom knows
demographic.
this. I don't think
Yeah,
my
that's
mom
true.
knows
You
this,
are the
but, like,
demographic.
I had like my end of the school day was like just like stupid stuff. So I was like, let's just skip those. I talked my other friends into like, I was like, say you have a doctor's appointment. Let's just skip the last 2 periods and go see the movie ahead of before like everybody's out of school. So they said yes. We went to the movies at like 2 p.m. There was no one else in the theater. It was great and totally
awesome.
worth it. We
That's
went back
awesome.
and we're like, yeah, we went to the doctor.
That's
Worth
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
I think it was probably Eclipse, the third one. But anyway,
Eclipse?
back
Oh,
to Gothic
okay.
movies.
All right.
One of mine, it labeled it as a Gothic movie. It didn't feel Gothic to me. It was The Shining.
Yeah, I saw that they labeled that too as
Yeah.
Gothic. And again, I think the environment itself
Yeah,
is what they were
that's
going
to me,
for.
that is one of the absolute classic, scary.
It's very good.
I mean, you can put that under thriller, suspense, hauntings, psychological. You could put that in any genre, really. That's a fantastic movie.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you ever see The
seen it.
Shining? You haven't seen The
I
Shining.
haven't seen it.
I would think somebody like you, a film buff, would, because of Kubrick.
I'm
know?
not like I didn't major in film. Like I didn't study film. I studied entertainment business. So I
What's
just
the
had
difference?
to watch.
What's the difference?
Oh,
I
John.
studied the business.
Shut up,
side
Greg. I'm
of
asking
it.
a question.
I studied. It's a business degree with like some entertainment classes in there essentially. So I took like literature to film class where like we read different books and plays and how they've changed the format into film.
That sounds
Like, I did
interesting.
a class like that. That was really fun.
So when
I
you
never
see a
did, like,
film, when you see a
film
film
study
being
class.
turned into a movie, I'm sorry, when you see a book being turned into a movie, are you more forgiving of the movie because you understand the process?
Yeah, but I think that's just as a consumer.
Okay.
I see it that way.
Okay.
Because
I still
know
get
it's
pissed.
not going to be as good as my imagination.
Yeah. I still get pissed. I do. I get really
But,
upset
like,
when it turns into
it
something
doesn't
else.
like I would rather have an actress play a character that really embodies the character,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look exactly how like they were described.
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay.
okay with that.
You know, like I don't care about that at
Right.
all. But
Right.
some people are like, no, she's supposed to have red hair and supposed to wear this specific jacket and these specific shoes.
She's supposed to
Right.
be white.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
What do you got, Greg?
Let's see. We mentioned Sleepy Hollow. I've got Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula.
Yeah, I think that's the pinnacle of Gothic horror, but
I mean,
I didn't like that movie.
Can I throw in the Munsters?
Sure. Yeah, it's a TV series.
Horror
that would
TV's
come,
underrated.
but even
we
but
have
like
such horror TV. So.
you know what? That was tough. There were a lot of things I wanted to list in here that would fall under TV, but well, maybe we'll do next week's show on TV.
Maybe.
You guys can watch.
But like the Adams Family
Midnight
fits.
Mass in the meantime.
That's true.
What in the meantime?
Midnight Mass.
Oh,
Midnight
Midnight
Mass.
Mass.
Next
Yeah,
week we'll do
we might
TV.
review that next week.
I'd say the Adams Family fits. I mean, that's
Yeah.
So the other one I had is Woman in Black, another Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes. Yeah.
Another haunting, but I thought it was a good movie.
Look, I know this is not in the Gothic area, but I didn't know where else to put this. And when I think Gothic, I think of vampires.
Sure.
So I put The Lost Boys, which is probably more of a comedy, or it's actually more of an action movie.
I put that in another category. Where did I put
I had
that?
no idea where to put that, but I was like, that has to go in here. You ever see
I've
The Lost
only
Boys?
seen 5 minutes of that movie.
You've never seen The Lost Boys? Wow.
Mm-mm.
I thought that was like a thing that
It's-
everybody had to do. Like,
It's a good watch. I mean,
I'm sure I'd enjoy it. There's just so many things that's like I'm sure I would enjoy these things, but no one's ever forced me to watch them, so I just did it.
sat you down and watched it. Well, Lost Boys is going to be on AMC, I think, throughout the spooky season. So
Mhm.
it's a good one. It's a good
I'll
watch.
watch it. I'll watch it. this
wasn't Daniel? Who's the method actor that is like the best actor of all time?
Daniel Day-Lewis
Isn't he in that?
and Lost Boys.
Yes, wasn't he the brother? Who's the brother?
Kiefer Sutherland. Tom
Yeah.
Cruise.
Not
Brad
Tom
Pitt.
Cruise. No.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
looking at Interview with the Vampire. Go to Lost.
I'm
Um,
mixing them together.
Yeah.
It's I believe it's Jason Lewis. But I will
I
look
haven't
it up
seen the movie. I just guessed a bunch of 80s actors.
here. I thought you were looking at a screen. I'm like,
so did I. I was like, Tom Cruise. You got it or no?
or
I
is
thought
it
it was Daniel Day-Lewis.
Jason Patrick? Jason
Jesus,
Patrick.
I was way off. Okay.
That's who that is.
Yeah.
In the
So-
Corys, the 80s
He
Corys.
does kind of
Corys.
look like him.
The Corys.
All right.
Yeah.
So next up is psychological horror. This one I struggled with,
Me too.
but first one I got on there was Split.
Oh, good one,
Another
Greg.
M. Night.
That was really good.
That's great.
Yes. That was a really good movie. What do you got for that, Danny? Anything?
I mean, so I saw Antebellum.
Yeah, I haven't
last
brought
summer,
myself to watch that yet.
Antebellum.
and it was all right.
Why have I
So
heard
Yeah,
is
I
it-
guess and it's technically
That's an A24, isn't it? Film. Those
I don't
A24.
think it's A24,
Oh, I thought it was.
but it's similar. It's in the same
Yeah.
vein. But it felt a lot like Us as well. Because
Mm,
I think it was the same producer. So it was Jordan Peele.
yes.
Jordan Peele produced. So like I guess Us and Get Out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those are probably on like
Yeah.
the-
They were on the list when I looked up
Psycho-
psychological.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a lot of
Yeah,
his stuff would
They were,
fall.
yeah, big time. I had it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It's Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, that was my number 3.
Yeah, that messed with me a little bit.
I feel like all I know of that movie is just like
Yeah. That's
I
the
was
first time
thinking-
I was actually introduced to Anthony Hopkins. It was actually one that was
really?
one of the movies where I was actually introduced to, wow, that's acting. Holy cow.
Mm.
That's
Mhm.
one of those ones. Because even Buffalo Bill freaked me out.
Yeah.
You know, he
First time I watched it
lotion
was
on
at
his
like
back.
was at an 8th grade party at this girl's house, and of course we didn't take any of it seriously.
Yeah,
And
of
so I didn't
course.
really get much out of it. But then when I watched it again, I'm like, they made a movie where the main draw, Anthony Hopkins, his Hannibal Lecter. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's actually not the bad guy in this film. Like he is a bad guy, but he's
Yeah.
not the antagonist.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty genius.
Yeah.
In my
What you got,
green
Greg?
brain.
Anything else?
Psychological horror. I got Dr. Sleep. I put that in there.
Okay, that's a good one. Did you ever see that one, Danny?
No.
Dr.
That's-
Sleep. It's the sequel to The Shining. So you might
Yeah.
want to watch The Shining, then Dr. Sleep.
Yes, that I knew. Because that's a new one. That
Yes.
It
just
is.
came out.
Yeah, Owen McGregor. Phenomenal job.
Very good movie.
Yeah.
A little uncomfortable in some scenes, but
Oh, yeah.
very good, I thought.
Yeah.
They have really good actresses. Rebecca Ferguson was in it.
Yeah, killed it
Um,
in that film.
Yeah, she was really good in that. Yeah, so that was a good one. I put Saw,
Yes.
the
I
first
knew,
one.
I knew you were going to put Saw, which is why I didn't put Saw.
Right. It's Danny, you ever see Saw?
No.
No. Okay.
That I don't think I could. I don't think I'd like that.
You know what? I'm not
It
into
feels
those
like a
kind.
bad dream.
I'm not into those films at all myself. What became known as torture porn.
Torture porn, yeah.
I didn't. But the very first Saw film
First one. That's all I care about.
was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to see Spiral, which is the new Chris Rock film, which is in that same Saw universe, because I don't think Chris Rock would put himself into like
Something bad.
the torture porn category.
The only other torture movie that I actually enjoyed, but I didn't even bother watching any of the sequels, was that Hostel.
Yeah, not going in for that.
That was
I thought you were going to
bone-chilling.
say Human Centipede.
No, fuck that. I will never watch that. I heard that and the movie Tusk. I heard of what those plots were, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I haven't seen Tusk either, and it's a Kevin Smith film, so I feel like I should, but
I don't think you should. I heard about it, and I was like,
yeah,
dude, no. Why would you want to? You should be beaten up if you come up with a plot like that.
there was a guy I went to high school with, and I wouldn't even call him a friend of mine. He's just a guy I went to high school with.
Right away, you're just acknowledging him as
Yep. And I posted something about horns. I'm like, I really like this film. I think more people should give it a shot. And he gave me shit. He's like, Tusk is much better. And I was like, whatever, dude. Okay.
All right. I put down It.
For psychological. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like allegory in it, and like
you're preying on the fears of the children, so I can see. Okay, I had Psycho.
Oh fuck, what was I thinking? That's like one of the classic of all time.
Yeah.
Okay,
he was a master at that. That's what he did.
I feel like this isn't on any list, but I personally, the way I reacted to the movie, it's a psychological horror film. Room. With
I've
Brie
heard
Larson,
of it.
With who?
Brie Larson.
Okay.
Captain Marvel.
Okay.
This was
heard of her.
Won her Oscar. So she gets abducted as a teenager, and by someone I used to work with, Sean Bridgers. He plays the abductor, and the whole first half of the movie is her in a room with her son, who's like, I think supposed to be 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's them trying to escape.
Oh, so it's real suspenseful, real tension.
Oh my God. My roommate and I were watching it, and I'm like shaking. Because like it's really dark. The way it's shot was just absolutely terrifying. When you see the door, like the knob turn because he's coming in there, like I was so scared.
I hate those movies.
My roommate turns and was like, "How are you not crying?" And I was like, and as soon as I went to speak, the tears just like flooded.
Oh my gosh.
My body was in like fight or flight the whole time.
Wow.
So like if I needed to get up and run, I could have. Like that's how like I was.
At the same time, it sounds like
terrifying.
But it sounds like it hit every mark it wanted. Like you were feeling exactly what the director wanted you to feel.
100%. It's
wow.
Absolutely terrifying.
You know what? I've seen I can picture like the box art or like the poster art on streaming services. I don't know which one it's on, but I just keep passing it over.
You guys should absolutely watch it.
I will.
It's Jacob. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? The cute kid that's been everywhere for years. I'm blanking on his last name.
I don't know.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Jacob Tremblay.
Oh, I've heard that name.
I haven't heard that name.
That was his first movie. And
okay. So he was the 8-year-old boy?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. I guess we'll have to check that out. I haven't checked it out.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Hey, if anybody's still listening or still with us, chat, give us your movies. Give us
you know what? I'm going between my list, IMDb, and I'm sorry, Cousin Clay has come on. He said the original Candyman messed him up as a kid, and I totally agree because that movie messed me up as a kid too.
Yeah, that didn't do much for me. That made me feel like I walked out feeling like ew.
Yeah, well, the gore factor, right? I mean, that's why I found like there's a difference in horror films between like a good horror film and then like a gory horror film. Yeah. And I don't do a lot of gore, but
you remember Identity with John Cusack, where it's like it takes place in a like a hotel, and because of a really bad rainstorm, it rains out the road, and there's like 5 people there. There's like Ray Liotta.
Oh yes, and they've all lost their memory, right?
Yeah. No. They're all at this hotel, right? And they start getting picked off one by one, and you're like, "What the hell's going on?" And then all of a sudden, you find out at the end that it's all happening inside of a guy's head. And these are all his multiple personalities
that were being
are fighting for dominance, and they did it like very Split. Well, huh?
Yeah, a little bit
like Split, but it was awesome. It was a really good movie, but that's psychological horror.
There was another film that it popped in my head because John Cusack was in it too, where all these people wake up in like a warehouse, and none of them remember who they are. They all have amnesia, and they're trying to figure out why they're all there. And there's obvious like. Is almost like a heist gone wrong kind of thing. And so,
Oh,
and
I've
they're
heard of
trying to
this.
fit.
They
And
breathed in gas or something, right? That
yeah,
knocked
it
them-
was there was a
yes.
gas that knocked them out and gave them all temporary amnesia. And as things start to come back to them little by little, it
Yes.
was just great filmmaking, great
Yeah,
storytelling. I don't
yeah.
even remember the name of the film,
Neither do
unfortunately.
I.
But my last film in psychological horror is called A Cure for Wellness.
Oh,
Not a
yeah,
big
yeah.
film. I don't even know if I say his name right.
What?
Dane
Excuse me.
DeHaan.
Yeah,
Dane DeHaan is the lead guy in that one.
Mhm.
creepy.
And I find him kind of creepy
Me
to
too.
begin with.
His
Yes.
eyes are so like
Piercing.
blue and piercing, and he's just
Yeah.
got like that sickly skin tone.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I think that's
yeah.
what it is. I mean, I've seen him in other things.
Translucent skin.
I loved him in
Yes,
Chronicle.
translucent, you're right.
Yeah, translucent. That's
Yes.
the great. He is a sparkly vampire.
Yes.
But he
I-
is very good.
Yeah.
He is. He's
Yeah.
an amazing actor. I mean,
Yeah.
played it perfectly. And but I remember watching that. I was traveling for business and it was on in the hotel room. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll watch that. And next thing I know, I'm in a hotel room, like sitting on the crappy couch by myself, just like, fuck, I can't move.
I'm not going to drink the water.
Yep. Not gonna. Nope. Nope.
Not drinking that bottle of water.
I, like,
It's
ran
complimentary.
Ran into the bedroom because I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna get me. But yeah, so that's it for my psychological horror. Next up,
Here's a
What
fun
a-
one, Greg. I think both
Okay,
you
you
and
got
me
another
are
one?
on this one. Yeah. This is sci-fi, and
this
is
is
great.
so many. So I had to curb myself.
Yes. So, Greg, go ahead.
Oh God, first one up for me is Pandorum. I love that.
Oh,
movie. I love
didn't
Pandorum.
I didn't expect that, but okay.
Oh man, it is so good. It was one of those movies that I mean, I knew they're like space madness and stuff
Yes,
like that. I'm like,
yeah.
all right, well, let's see how it goes. And love Dennis Quaid and
Ben Foster.
Ben,
Yes.
Ben Foster. I mean, I'm like, okay, let's see. And it actually there's an actor in there. He was an MMA fighter named Chun Li, and just it started to get into film. And I'm like, I used to watch this guy fight, so I want to see how he can act. He was mute in the film, which was disappointing. But I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. And it went in directions I didn't expect it to go. And I'm enamored by that film. Every time I want to watch it, because Krista, it scared the crap out of her. She's like, the hell I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. I love it.
Yeah, there's something very scary about space and like being like they take spaceships and they turn them into like desert islands with like no escape.
It is. Well, it
Yeah,
is.
It's really tough.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to go again here because what
Yeah.
you just said leads directly into my number 2,
Yep.
which is Underwater. With
Wow, you are blowing my like. Wow. Okay.
yeah, Underwater. Bella
The Twilight Girl.
Twilight Girl. What's her name?
Kristen Stewart.
Yes.
Kristen Stewart. Yes. Who, when I saw Twilight, I went, this girl can't act her way out of a wet paper bag.
Right.
Surprise! Actually, she's phenomenal.
She
Yes.
is really great. I
Cannot
mean,
wait to see her as Princess Diana.
She's
I'm
doing.
so
She's
excited.
doing that. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, I'll send you
Wow.
the trailer.
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. Please do.
Yeah, I mean, actually, everybody in that film is actually much better actors than what was demanded of them.
Yeah. Well, okay. Twilight. She's supposed to be an awkward, weird girl. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm raising awkward teenagers. They don't forget how to talk all the time.
Yeah, and not only that,
Wonderful,
Edward
wonderful.
Cullen for being so many years of a
it's
vampire.
creepy. It's creepy. Don't get me started on that. I hate.
No,
it.
no,
I hate
he
it so
just
much.
seemed like he got sick every time he had to talk.
He does because
Yeah.
he wants to kill her.
Yes. So
I love you
he
so
wants
much.
So he's like trying not to breathe around her.
The
Oh, I
the
didn't get
best
that.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
The
you
best.
read the books, Johnny.
Oh, and
Oh.
I did, and I heard all about his chiseled granite physique
Right, but
and
did you read Midnight
cold.
Sun? The,
oh
the book from Edward's perspective? I
no,
thought-
certainly I stopped by then.
Well,
That
there's
just
always
came out
Audible,
too.
Greg.
That
Yeah,
came out
I could go
last
for
year,
Audible.
so
There's always
Oh.
Audible.
audibletrial.com
listen to it on
/
Audible.
JATG.
I listened to it on Audible.
Yeah, the anyway, yes, they're all better actors. than
Underwater. It looked
underwater-
terrifying to me.
It
Like,
is,
I-
and so along the same lines of like kind of that desert island, like you cannot get outside of the structure because you'll die.
Yeah.
Underwater, I mean, it starts with the structure imploding. I mean,
Yes.
that's the
The stakes
Krista,
are high.
5 minutes
Yeah.
right into it, you're
She-
like, you're in a
she
fight for your
wait-
life.
She wakes up in her bunk and you hear boom, and then she's running for her life, and you're like,
Yes.
oh damn. I mean,
Yeah.
just that and this is what gets me, that claustrophobic feeling of your entire existence is going to come crashing in around you. It's they just did a great job. I mean,
that was a good movie, and the twist at the end kind of made me go, "Oh, no kidding, they went there." You
Yeah.
know? So yeah.
Check that one out. You're gonna like it. It's on HBO.
It would stress me out.
Yes, it will do that.
My number one, actually, I'm gonna go twice because Greg went twice.
Go ahead.
My first one's Alien. You just can't beat that one. Sigourney Weaver. It's the first time, you know, it even has a great tagline in space. No one can hear you scream. It created, it created the entire genre of sci-fi, in my opinion, moving forward, of that type of, oh my freaking God. Like that thing looks just like the pipes, and that thing is like an alien. And it was an alien you've never seen before. It was something completely different. And I thought I thought that was fantastic the way that was done. Did you ever see Alien?
Movies to watch. No, I have not.
Wow.
But I know that like in Stranger Things, they like did a nod to the scene where
they're
facing each other.
Yeah.
So like I'm aware of like its iconicness.
Yes.
But no, I have not seen it.
Face huggers still scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's true.
Do
you have any? Yeah, that's a different
I don't really have
watermelon
any,
sugar.
which I'm surprised because I feel like I watch sci-fi, but I guess not.
My second one, because I'm going twice, is probably, I would say, Greg and I's, like, I was shocked it wasn't Greg's number one or his number two, is The Thing.
Well, like I said, I knew you were going to have The Thing on there.
Did you ever see The Thing?
No.
With Kurt Russell?
No.
Again,
I do love Kurt Russell though.
Total nod to John Carpenter and Sandy.
Yes.
Sandy King.
The way they did, again, isolation. They're on Antarctica at a research facility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
my roommate at one point was watching this movie.
Yes.
And I saw bits of it.
Yes. And it's they play on the who's the alien.
Yeah.
And that will just, like, you don't even know at the end. You have no idea. You have no idea if it, like, if one of those, like, when it ends, you have no idea if the alien's dead or if it's not. And it's a really good
I definitely
movie.
saw like a solid 15 minutes of the movie. And it was I was like, what is happening here?
Totally worth it.
I would have loved to have, that came out what, Greg, in the 70s or 80s?
70s.
70s.
I have it open right now. 82.
82.
I was gonna say I had to check on that. I thought it was 70s, but 82.
I didn't see that until like the 90s. But when I would be curious as to how people were handling that in the theater at that moment, because I don't think anybody's seen something like that at that time.
Yeah, that would be a great question.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sci-Fi, Mrs. Sci-Fi Queen. Anything?
I don't really have any.
No.
Mm-mm.
Has anything we've been saying as we've been talking here, are you writing a list down going, yeah, I need to see that, I need to see that, I need to see that? Because you got all of October to do this.
I'm definitely gonna watch Alien.
Yeah, I would definitely watch it. Both of them, Alien and Aliens, then end it there. Don't go any further.
I think I didn't mind 3 if they would have left it at 3. Like, and because there's a definitive end of the series on that one. But what did I see? I said Cloverfield. I actually enjoy Cloverfield for what it did. I mean, it made great efforts. It's a found footage kind of thing, like where TJ Miller is actually videotaping on like an old camcorder because it came out at that time, and kind of just documents an original invasion of, they were in New York City, I think, and they were just running through.
It was like what was the other one? It was like the found footage thing with the
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Never saw that one either. I feel like I would get nauseous watching those. Like
you did.
Like the camera
you did the
shaking.
shaky cam. Yeah.
Blair Witch was unique. That was a really interesting.
I remember people just absolutely, it's the terrifying, like the scariest movie ever made. And then I watched it and I was like, no, it's not. It's really
Yeah.
not.
No, I thought it was very well done. I don't think it was the scariest movie, but it made me go like, wow, that like I was just they didn't have much, and I thought they put together a pretty good movie with not having anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Cousin Clay is popping in here. He's talking about Rose Red. I believe that was a werewolf film, if I remember. Halloween. I'm sure that'll come
Of
up.
course.
The original Hills Have Eyes and Prometheus, which I can't remember Prometheus.
yes, you can. Prometheus
Can?
is that's the one with it's the prequel to all the Alien movies.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Clay. That sucked.
It's on Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
it's
like
got
that one,
Michael
Clay.
Fassbender in it.
Did you like
I
The
should have
Mist?
it down.
Oh, Mist. Yeah. Yeah. Mist was good.
Yeah. Did you ever see The Mist? Don't watch that.
Yeah. You're not gonna
One
like
of
the
the
ending.
most
It's a scary-
depressive endings I have ever seen in my
Oh,
life.
it's a
Completely.
Stephen King thing. Okay, of course it's gonna
Yeah.
be depressing at the end.
Oh, broke my heart
Those are-
actually. The other one I have is a unique one. Greg, I'm interested to see if you've seen this. Have you ever seen the movie Attack the Block?
Love Attack the Block. Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yeah, I love that movie.
John Boyega's first big film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Kids in like inner city London, like living in the projects, and the block is like their apartment complex. They call it the block. Another alien invasion, like, alien beings just crash land in London and start eating people.
Yeah.
And
And these
this
things are like
that sounds like
black critters with green teeth or green
Yeah,
eyes or
like-
something like that.
Yeah, like what you think are their eyes when you're looking at them are not their eyes. It's something else. But then they got like glowing blue teeth, and they're just these big beasts that are chasing after these group. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's great.
It's a good one.
I just made my kids watch it like 3 weeks ago.
I made my kids watch it.
Well, no,
I
it's
like
one
how
of-
you said that.
It's one of
I
those
know
things
what
where
you meant, but
I'm watching The Block, and they're like, do we have to watch it? I'm like, if you're sitting in this room, we're watching The Block. So, so they watched it and they liked it. So
Yeah.
it was a good movie. Very
Yeah.
good movie. I've got Brightburn, which wasn't a big hit,
okay.
but I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty good. It's what if Superman was not nice, and
As
it's
he's
just like-
growing up.
as a psychotic child.
Yeah.
And that to me.
There's
is
something
terrifying.
really scary about a psychotic kid.
What a psychotic kid with superpowers too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you remember the one with Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood, The Good Son?
Oh, the good son. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were kids
Are
when they
you
made that one.
watching Superman and Lois,
Yes,
I am not. I'm not.
It is a very good series.
and it just made me think of the cousin, or the brother, or whatever.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
one brother's gonna be a bad guy, isn't he?
It's, no spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have not finished
I'm-
it yet.
I really like it. I really like Superman and Lois. I think it's worth checking out.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna, but you know what? I do. I like it.
I'll check it
I
out.
like it a lot.
I think the kids in the show actually look like they could be twins
You think
Oh,
so?
yeah.
in a weird way. I think their features are super similar, and I'm like, okay, I
Sometimes
buy it.
they're where they want to show like their brotherness comes off as cheesy.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, his brothers don't act like that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Danny, are you way more of a television person than you are a movie person?
I think I am.
Yeah.
I love movies, and growing up, we went to the movies all the time and would just spend the day at the theater. But I love TV. I love long form storytelling.
Okay.
I think it's just way better.
Well, and to be honest, TV has making a turn in the past
Yeah, they have.
10 years. I would
Yeah.
say that long form is like they can do so much. Like, I'm sorry, the fact that we're not doing TV, but Lovecraft Country should be on this list in
Oh,
terms of horror,
yeah.
because
Yes.
somebody posted a TikTok the other day of the twin girls from that show, which I still think that's probably the most terrifying thing I've seen on screen in the past year.
Yeah.
I haven't
so-
seen it, but it was
Oh
a
my
big
God.
deal when they were casting.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I'm very disappointed that it's not that didn't get a season 2. But so after Brightburn, Upgrade. Anybody see Upgrade?
I did. I liked it.
I liked it a lot too.
I thought it was more of a sci-fi. I didn't think that was much of a horror movie.
It's
But-
got some I think I see where you're going with that with sci-fi, but I think definitely the twist ending And
Yeah.
then the fight scene in the kitchen where he practically decapitates a guy with a kitchen knife. Yeah, I thought that was it could make the list.
Yeah. So we're moving on to slasher. Are you good? Red?
Let's see what else I got. I do have the thing on there. I've got A Quiet Place for sci-fi.
I had that for I have that for suspense.
That could be. I could see that. And a vampire film that nobody really talks about, Daybreakers.
Yeah, I can't get into that. I've tried.
Really?
Greg.
Did
Yeah,
you
'cause
like it?
No, you
didn't
always
like it?
want me to watch it, and I've tried like 3 times.
Really?
I'm just like, yeah, I can't get into this.
Ethan Hawke is in it. Ethan Hawke, and William Dafoe. And then some other people. The guy. Sam Neill.
Yeah,
plays
Sam
kind
Neill.
of a-
Yeah.
So it's the story of vampires have completely conquered the earth. Like they've, and they're keeping part of the human population alive in like suspended animation and as just farming blood. But people start dying, and so there's a food shortage. And with the food shortage, with a vampire, once they start to starve, is when they go purely animalistic and very bat-like features and stuff like that. But Ethan Hawke is a biochemist who's working on a blood substitute. And then throughout that process, they actually he discovers a cure for vampirism. And so now the whole world is 99% vampires. And a lot of people like being a vampire. So how are you going to balance that? And then it ends up, it's got some twists in it. And I just think it's a good movie. So and it crosses over well into sci-fi.
We should probably speed this up though. We're at like hour and a half.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Talking movies, we can go on forever.
I know we can. That's what I'm saying.
Slasher film. I've got 5. Name what you got.
I got Halloween, which is always the classic go-to. And I believe the music alone, the suspense, the fact that there was not one drop of blood.
Yep.
And it scared the living hell out of me when I was a kid.
I will say there's because I just rewatched it yesterday.
Yeah. There's a little bit of blood.
There's blood on the knife at the beginning.
Okay.
But it looks like cherry filling, actually.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that, Dani? Halloween?
Bits and pieces.
You gotta watch that movie.
We had a client in the one that came out a few years ago.
Oh, the Resurrection, Halloween Resurrection.
The one that
came out. That one. Okay.
The Rob Zombie remake, I think.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that one. It was literally just like 3 years ago.
Oh, that was the one with who's the guy that plays Eastbound and Down? Who's that guy?
Oh, Kenny. No, I was gonna say Kenny Baker, but that's the
his
character.
That's his character. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Curly hair. Curly hair always plays like the slime of the earth.
Yeah, his name is actually the same.
2018 Halloween.
Yes, yeah. He directed that. And
really?
He went up to Carpenter and Carpenter was like, yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Do this.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's supposed to take over immediately after the first Halloween. So
okay.
Anyway, I have Halloween, Trick or Treat, and Dr. Sleep as I'm sorry, I went to the wrong genre. My bad. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Scream. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because it felt like a documentary, which scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. Is that you?
He doesn't like scary.
Somebody's at the door.
I don't really have any slasher films other than Freaky.
Friday the 13th.
Freaky's on my list. Freaky is definitely
a slasher, and that's the only one I could think of.
Freaky was on my list. Scream was on my list. I struggled with this one to come up with 5. But the ones I do have on there are American Psycho.
Okay.
And Sleepaway Camp.
Oh my God, that was a horrible ending.
It was a terrible. I mean, that's one of those absolute cheesy.
Yes.
I have Nightmare on Elm Street on there, but that was just because I thought
I know you needed space.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of that film.
I'm not a big fan of that genre.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, not really. I mean, I think a good horror film doesn't just need to be gore.
Yeah. Well, not only that, the slasher, it almost started following an actual, like, there's the virgin that survives. There's the sexual couple that ends up getting killed while they're having sex.
The final girl really found.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we get our tropes is
Yes.
from the slasher genre, which I think
Right.
has just turned me off to the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Thriller.
Yeah. Thriller. What do you got, Greg?
First I've got the Purge.
Okay.
The first Purge. I'll put that because there's another Purge that comes up later on. Because it was very one person versus like I think it was more personal in the first one.
Okay.
In the first Purge films. Then I have 7.
Oh, 7 was a good one.
Yep.
You never saw 7, did you, Danny?
I don't think so.
Oh, you
Wow.
got that's another one.
Yeah.
It's, Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, and eventually
Kevin Spacey. Yeah. I put Creepshow. It's one of my favorite ones. I didn't know where to put that. So I just put
because that covers so many genres because
Right.
it's an anthology film.
Yes. I love the first original Creepshow.
Yeah.
I have Trick or Treat because again, it's another anthology.
Yep, another anthology film.
And I actually put Dr. Sleep here in this one for me.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
So,
Danny, do you have any thrillers?
Not really. I'm like going.
Well, thanks for coming, Danny.
I feel like Parasite was considered a thriller, right?
Parasite.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
Korean film.
Yeah.
Yep.
A couple years ago.
Yes, you're right.
That was about. I don't know. Like to me, yeah, it was a thriller, but it was just like a whole. It was just like a. I thought it was just a comment on society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I guess with thriller, like I get Room. I would put Room in it again.
Yeah, I would. Yep. Well, I have us on here as a thriller.
You could technically put Michael Jackson's Thriller on there.
You could.
My last one I have is Misery. Stephen King's
Oh, fantastic. Misery. Yes. Why didn't that come up in my search?
I don't know.
That's a great one. It's a great one.
Let's do Suspense before we do Zombie.
Sounds good.
I think we can get more out of Zombie than Suspense.
I agree.
So Suspense, I've got Sixth Sense.
Okay.
Or the Sixth Sense.
Very good. Yeah.
Sense.
I would agree. I have The Howling. I know. Look, as a kid, I was freaked out at because what scared me about this movie was it was basically they were hunting down a serial killer. They found out the serial killer is actually a werewolf.
Yeah.
And they tracked him down to a place where he lived, which was an island. And what freaked me out about these werewolves is they didn't need a full moon, man. They just came whenever they just wolfed out whenever they wanted. So that freaked me out. I didn't know where to put it, so I put it under Suspense.
Well, and that's what we should have had a monster category.
Yeah,
we should have. I've got What Lies Beneath.
Good one.
That still. There's a scene in that gets me every time.
Yep, that's scary. The jump one. Yep.
The Purge 2, which I thought was more suspense, where it's like an environmental thing and less of a personal thing.
I get that.
Flatliners.
Flatline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pushing for that one.
Right.
Luna's in it. That's all I know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the remake. Yeah. Well, the remake was fine.
I put Stephen King's Silver Bullet.
Okay.
That was suspenseful. It was a who done it, and I was like, "Who is that?"
Yeah, very much more of a mystery than with a supernatural twist to it.
Yeah, that's it for me. And then I had A Quiet Place, but I already said that.
One that a lot of people haven't seen, but is totally suspenseful, and I think it's a great film. Is 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams.
I heard about that.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, you remember that? Thanks for joining the show, Danny.
She's fine. Stop it.
Well, it's like the premise was this creepy person looking at all your photos.
Yeah. Yep. And
it's probably happened more than you think it.
You kind of feel for the guy.
If it were me, I would look at everybody's pictures.
Yeah. Oh, I knew a guy that he was at like a Shopko, and he would like the 1 hour photo booth there, and he came across. He's like, yeah, people send their their Smexy time photos through 1 hour photo. I'm like,
wow.
You can send away for that stuff. He's like, yeah,
they just did it. Yeah.
Yep.
That was one time, Greg. I didn't know the rules.
One time. But no, Robin Williams, you actually like feel for his character like you feel bad for him, but then he's being like this absolute creeper, and you're like, oh my god. So it's
Robin was
suspenseful.
fantastic.
Yeah,
rest in peace. He was fantastic.
The way, I mean, he didn't do a lot of like suspense or anything
No,
like
he didn't.
that, and so it really stood out to me the way he acted this role. And you're like, even at the end, you're like, oh my god, I just feel so bad for this guy. He has nobody. But anyway, zombie films. Danny, do you have zombie films on your list?
I mean, it would have been Warm Bodies,
I fucking knew you were gonna say that.
Zombieland.
Zombieland.
Scout's Guide.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like other ones. I'm sure there's other ones that I'm like.
Actually, I ended up having to struggle with this one a little bit of like, what other zombie films? Because there's a million of them out there.
There's a thousand. Yes.
Shit. I mean, there's so many bad ones.
Yes. I went with Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Yep, I knew you would. So that's why
that was fantastic.
Land of the Dead.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was the first time I actually gave a crap about a zombie movie. Like,
yeah,
because they scared me. Those zombies did.
Fast moving zombies. Yeah,
just fast moving. Like, yeah, just terrifying. Because you probably knew I was going to do 28 Days Later.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have that one on my list as well.
What about 28 Days Later, Danny? Did you get that?
I have not seen that.
Haven't seen it?
Worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I have Train to Busan.
Yep, that was my third one.
Yep, that was a Japanese film.
Yeah, really good.
Terrifying. Zombies on a train. Terrifying.
Yes, absolutely terrifying.
I have Planet Terror. The other.
With
Grindhouse.
Yes, the Grindhouse films where she had a machine gun for a leg, right?
Yeah, it is.
Rosie Dawson. Not Dawson.
No, it's
McDonald.
Rose
McDonald or something like that, right?
No, Rose McGowan.
Sorry, guys. I got the Mick right.
But yeah, that's a total just farce like of a zombie film.
Definitely.
But I enjoyed it.
All right. Any honorable mentions? Because we're done with our list here. Any honorable mentions?
Well, let's go through the vampire werewolf films. I mean, other monster films out there that should have been a category.
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
that's fantastic movie. You should see that, Danny. I know you haven't seen it. You should see it.
I haven't.
Yes, it has a transformation scene that still gives me the shivers.
Yep.
How much it has to hurt.
People reference that as one of the best transformation scenes in any film, and like, even though it's all CGI now, they still go back to that film.
Right.
Danny,
Ray Harryhausen's Creature Shop did that and knocked it out of the park.
The first beginning of that scene where they're walking through the Mars or the
Moors.
The Moors. It is terrifying.
Yep.
Yeah. So make sure when you watch that movie, you get like a nice little cuddle blanket, grab your dog, hold on to him tight, so.
Oh, okay. Cousin Clay popping in, Jeepers Creepers. That's good.
I love Jeepers Creepers. I loved it.
Yeah. Bone Collector. Do you know what that one is? I don't.
Yes, that's what Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie.
Oh, that Bone Collector.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's what they're referring to.
That's what he's going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put that in the thriller.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Or psychological.
Yeah.
Anytime you're hunting down a serial killer, it's psychological, I think. Because you got to think like them to catch them. And
sure.
Yeah. So I would even put The Cell. Remember that movie?
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio
and Vince Vaughn.
When he was still like super fit, like boom.
Yeah.
He wants to come, like he's pushed to come back as the Kingpin.
I know he is,
which I think would be great. Because
me too. I agree.
I'm trying to think of other monster films that really stood out to me.
I watched Cursed. It was
yes, that was
2004.
Was that with Pacey?
Craven?
Pacey?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I thought it was good. Yeah.
And like that werewolf was hilarious.
That was.
Yes. Yeah.
Donnie Darko.
That's psychological, I would think.
Psychological. I'm one of the few people that I just did not.
That was not your thing, Donnie Darko.
It's out there. Like looking back, I'm like, it was trying really hard.
It was trying very hard. And I love time travel films. I like chaos theory and butterfly effect kind of stuff. And I was still like, dude.
Yeah. And I watched Guilty, which I think would be suspense, but I wouldn't, I mean,
What's Guilty?
pretty horrifying. It's on Netflix. It's trending right now. It's Jake Gyllenhaal. He plays a cop that's put on dispatch duty, like 911 calls.
Yep.
And he gets a call of someone being abducted, and he's trying to save her.
Oh yes, I actually saw the trailer. I wanted to see that. Yes,
It's
Greg, I think
it
I
was
sent
good.
you the trailer.
You did, yeah.
I did, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. There's a movie that I won't watch again, and it's a psychological thriller, and he's in it. It's
The
him.
one with
Is he the
Is it
camera? He's like
Animal.
trying to searching for camera. Oh, like he's a camera night creeper or night stalker or
Nope.
night crawler.
Nope, it's not
Oh.
that one.
the one with Paul Dano and oh my god, why am I blanking?
Hugh
on his
Jackman?
name? Hugh Jackman. That one?
Nope, that one makes sense too. It was.
He's kind of done a lot
he-
of psychological.
He's done it. He has done a lot. This is and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6,
That man
7, 8,
always
9,
works.
10, 11. He's got 12 projects coming out. I'm looking it up now. He did it with the redhead that's not.
Is that the one where he's on a train and he's constantly trying to stop the bomb from going
No,
off?
but I actually like
That's
that
Ryan
movie.
Reynolds.
That's not Ryan Reynolds.
The train one?
Yeah,
Ryan
no,
Reynolds
that's
and
Jake.
No.
Denzel Washington.
Oh no, you're thinking of okay. So
now I'm just like, what?
yeah, so the movie that John is talking about is a sci-fi thriller where he is a soldier that's constantly jumping back in time to the same point. It's kind of like Groundhog Day, but he's trying to stop a bomb from going off on a train.
Yeah.
And that is I've got his source code is the name of that film.
Source code. That's right.
The movie I'm thinking of, Nocturnal Animals, is the name of it.
No, I never saw it.
In 2016, it's
That
him.
sounds familiar.
It is Amy Adams. It's him and Amy Adams and
I remember
Michael
when this came out.
Shannon, Aaron Taylor Aaron Taylor Johnson. Ilsa Fisher
yeah.
is also in it. So that's it. There's so
My
many
friend saw it at Sundance. That's why.
Yeah, it's very much a Sundance kind of film. So but the terrifying part in there is that, I mean, there's two stories. There's this guy's book, which is being acted out as Amy Adams reads it, and then there's in the real world, and Amy Adams is like going through a divorce and whatever. But the book, he plays a dad, and he's got his wife and his teenage daughter, and they're driving through like Nevada or something like that, middle of the desert. And they start to get messed with by some kind of like, heroin addicts or something like that. Meth heads. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they run him off the road. They make him stop. They like get out of the car, and he gets out of the car, and like the whole scene is like, oh, they're trying to get his wife and daughter. Like they want, and they do. And then he is, in the book, Jake Gyllenhaal is just kind of playing this kind of a pussy of a guy who doesn't fight and can't, like, doesn't know how. So his wife and daughter are abducted. And as a father, it is terrifying. Like, Krista's watching it, and I'm like, do we have to keep watching this? I don't want to watch this anymore. She's like, well, it'll be fine. I went to bed disturbed that night.
Yeah, I hate that.
So,
yeah.
That's what being a girl is like all the time.
Yeah.
Is it really though? Is it really?
It can be, yeah.
I can understand.
When I go take my dog outside, I'm constantly looking everywhere.
Now, is that
Like,
all?
as I'm-
Is that like? Have you talked to your friends and you all feel the same way, and your mom feels the same way, or? Yeah. Wow.
We
And a lot of people
all are
don't.
always on alert.
Yeah. A lot of people don't get that. Like last night, so it's homecoming, and my daughter is with a group of, there's 4 of them. So they're taking pictures in a town that's like 2 towns over from ours. It's a nice little like old world Wisconsin kind of town, this old building. But there's like a wine walk going down all through downtown. So there's music everywhere. There's tents up. There's just people drinking everywhere. And the pictures are done, and all the parents leave. And I'm like, I'll walk you guys to your car,
Mhm.
which yes, we can see is like 200 yards away, but I'm like, are you kidding me? And all the parents left. I'm like,
Wow.
no,
I
I'm
have
gonna,
all of my friends' locations, and I ask them to text me every time they get home.
yeah, yeah. Like
It's just how I
like I
function.
walk them to their car, and they had leftovers from their dinner. I'm like, well, I'll take your leftovers and put them in the fridge, so that made it look like there's more of a purpose there. But I'm like, this is dual purpose, like for sure.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's off the topic.
It's really fun being a girl.
God, sorry about that. I'm truly sorry about that.
But I appreciate girls.
Yeah, me too. I'm surrounded by them and I love
Any
it.
I don't know, any other like Halloween films that we didn't come up with that you guys just like to watch on a
I like every Universal movie because that's something my mom did. I'm talking about the 1930s,
like the
20s, the
1930s,
black
yeah.
and whites, Dracula, Frankenstein's. Because my mom, that was a special memory with my mom and I. You know, she'd give me the hot cocoa and we'd watch it. 'Cause
Sure.
they used to always come on like at midnight on like channel 32.
Well, like
but there was no
Elvira
cable.
film
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Or Sven Gulli would always play them and something like that.
Sven
It just,
Gulli.
Absolutely.
just remember, it just,
It's
you
been
know,
around forever.
yeah, it's just one of those,
Yeah.
feel good moments.
I mean, this isn't film, it's TV. I always watch the Parks and Rec Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
There's two that I absolutely love. And then Bob's Burgers always comes out with a solid Halloween episode.
Bob's Burgers is a very good show.
I
haven't
love
gotten
it.
into that
Yeah.
enough. I've watched enough and I really enjoy it. And I like
Yes, me
Dan
too.
Harmon, but I haven't watched
Yeah.
enough
I
of it.
just love their family dynamic.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
so cute.
It is good. It is good. All right, Greg, you want to take us out, man?
I guess. Yeah. All right. So as you're going through and you're watching your Halloween films and reading all the stuff, because I would suggest watch a couple of Halloween films because there's just shit going on in the world that you just need an escape. So do that this week. But then when you get back to your real life and you're reading the news and you're doing stuff and you're talking with your friends, you want to be able to know your audience, know who you're talking to, be able to have decent conversations. You want to be able to know your sources. Where are you getting those facts from? I heard a great story today about how the Russians actually created a situation down in Texas, and we can talk about that on another podcast. But know where you're getting that fact from and where it's coming from. And then as you're going through that, don't be a douche.
Bingo. Dani Trejo, as always, thank you so much for your smiley little face.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
My only advice to you would be go watch some movies, okay?
I watch a lot of movies, just not these.
Well,
We have a
cleanse your
very
palate. It's
different
October.
demographic.
Okay, here's the thing, because any excuse to get you on the show is always a pleasure of
That's
ours.
true.
So watch your films. Like we'll come, maybe John and I will work on a list. We'll get you a list to cover over the next 30 days.
Yes.
And then you can come back to us with your reviews.
That'll be perfect.
That's a
Sound good?
lot.
And
Well,
it
it doesn't have to be a film a
But
day,
you guys,
but
you guys have to watch Midnight Mass because I'm
Okay.
obsessed.
it's on my
I will.
list. It's literally in my queue.
Yeah. My wife and I are looking for something because I think we stopped with American Horror Story. We're like, no, we're done.
I'm on season 2 and it's kind of a slog to get through because I'm watching
Yes.
it by
You know
myself.
what I didn't mention? The Craft.
The Craft.
Oh gosh, yes.
The Craft.
The
Yeah.
Craft. And what's the other one? With Nicole Kidman. And
Practical Magic.
Practical Magic.
Practical Magic, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
2 solid films that I love that are witchy.
And we'll leave it
Yeah.
there. So for our guest, Dani, the Greg, this is Johnny saying, podcast out, people. Have a great day.
See you guys.